who's going to throw on first down. This side of the field, and that is complete to the near side of the field. Amari Cooper. Another play fake. Got rid of it this time and over the near side, and that is complete to David Bell, the rookie out of Purdue. Pretty good experience all along that Cleveland Browns offensive line, Arch, and they...
There's a confident defense, and they don't flinch and not afraid to play any team in the NFL.
Chubb on 2nd and 12 has some running room on the left side and has a first down inside the Cincinnati 35-yard line.
You know, playing in the game for the first time in almost 2 seasons, as he gets more in shape, expect him to run more.
On 3rd and 1, they give us to Kareem Hunt, and he doesn't get there. Jacoby Brissett's going to throw it. Going to throw it deep to the end zone and overthrew his intended receiver, Donovan Peoples-Jones. And the ball will go over on downs. Samaje Perine in the backfield to start this series of downs for the Bengals. Quick pass is complete. That's Jamar Chase.
This time,
Burrow getting rid of it again real quick. That is Chase, and Chase brought up short of the 45-yard line.
This defensive line playing really well here down the stretch.
Watson with time, running out of time, going to try and take off, and he's brought down from behind. Sam Hubbard running him down. 3rd and 3 with Perine in the backfield and Burrow to throw. Running out of time, going to run for it, and getting the first down just across the 20-yard line. He looks like he's right at that marker. Deion Jones again making the defensive play. Burrow running out of time, and now flips it over the middle, and making the dive for it is Travion Williams, but that will be short of a first down.
They've been showing a lot of this look, and were very successful bringing the pressure last week.
Watson tried to get rid of it. He did get rid of it, and it's ruled an incomplete pass.
And takes away a big sack.
Now from the 37 on first down, Burrow going to go deep down this side of the field and incomplete. And flags come flying.
The hand fighting was okay.
Number 21, 5-5, automatic, first down.
Cleveland was very successful on Halloween getting to Joe Burrow and had a major impact in that game.
3rd and 3, and Burrow on the move. Has a first down and a little bit more. Inside, and he's going to bring it down at the 15-yard line. It'll be first down. First time either team has been into the red zone today.
Reading the defense and understanding what is happening, making a play, and now on the 15-yard line going in.
Burrow to the end zone. Touchdown, Jamar Chase.
I've always admired the way Mike Hilton plays the game.
Quick pass to Chubb. Chubb with blocking in front of him, and his first substantial game of the day gets him a first down out across the 40 to about the 42-yard line.
So they have the ability to put pressure here on Deshaun Watson.
3rd and 8. Watson needs the 42 for a first down. Has to pull it down, scrambling, and is going to run for it. And looking for the first down marker. Let's see where he's marked out. He will have the first down.
They have shut down, and they've allowed 0 separation on these receivers in this game.
We'll play fake this time and throwing to the sideline. That pass is complete to Amari Cooper, and Cooper up the sideline before he is out of bounds inside the Cincinnati 25. That's the biggest play of the day on either side, 24 yards. And here is Chubb coming in this direction and continuing to plow. He gets it close to the 15. They'll mark him down at the 16-yard line. A reminder coming up. Cleveland 2 for 2 on 3rd down on this drive. Watson to throw, and tipped at the line of scrimmage and falls incomplete. And with 3 minutes to play in the first half, the Browns finally find the scoreboard.
And now 2 of them are not a part of your offense.
Quick pass, and this is complete to Chase, and Chase across the 40, across the 45.
Everything in this game, other than a shot to Jamar Chase, has been underneath 10 yards for Burrow.
Burrow Got that one right down the middle of the field, and here's Trent Taylor. Taylor, 20-yard line, inside the 20 to about the 18, and a first down.
You got Jamar Chase isolated to the left with 3 receivers on the right.
Burrow throws, complete, and inside the 10, going to the 5 is Trenton Irwin. And it'll be a first and goal.
Burrow runs for the first down. If not, Burrow hits the receiver.
Pirine from the 6. Bounces outside to the end zone.
Drive to finish up the first half for Cincinnati right before half.
The extra point is no good.
Look for a screen or draw to Kareem Hunt, see if they can make something happen.
Watson over the middle, and he finds his man across the 30 to the 32. That catch is made by Njoku. 2nd and 3. With time. Another one over the middle in midfield, and that is caught by Donovan Peoples-Jones. Clock continues to run, and they're going to try to spike this football. Watson trying to get out of the mess, and now going to heave it deep to the end zone. Incomplete. Sure, right now. Burrow. That's complete. And looking for first down yardage is Mitchell Wilcox, remember.
An excellent third down play from Burrow and his wide receivers.
On first down, the give is to Mixon, and Mixon breaking through across the 35 to about the 37 or 38 yard line.
Getting a chance to play here and has played well.
Burrow. Oh, what a throw and what a grab by Jamar Chase. Burrow, and another flag comes in. And Myles Garrett making that stop.
Tackle Clowney to the ground.
So 3rd and 13 now. And that ball popped up in the air and falls incomplete, and that's Myles Garrett.
For the Browns to be successful, they have got to be able to get him involved.
Here comes the blitz. Watson can't escape. Watson never had a chance. He goes down, rests right around the 15-yard line, and that'll bring the Cleveland punting unit on. Burrow going to throw. Sideline. Jamar Chase. First down yardage out of bounds at the 45 of the Cleveland Browns. This is Mixon. No, the fake to Mixon. The throw, and here is all alone for the touchdown, Trenton Irwin.
Great win against Tampa a couple weeks ago. Last week was a complete, special teams and defense.
Watson throws to Peoples-Jones again, this time the near side of the field, a 35-yard line. That'll leave him. Where does he go on third down? Going to run it. And across the 40 to the 41 for a first down. Play fake to Chubb. Watson stepping up, throwing, and got his man, and that's Donovan Peoples-Jones once again. The catch is made inside the Cincinnati 40-yard line. Watson over the middle. That is complete to David Bell, the rookie out of Purdue. At the Cincinnati 27. Watson throwing far side of the field. That is complete. Njoku escapes traffic and goes out of bounds with another first down for the Browns.
Getting the ball into their hands.
Watson. And this is Njoku again. Inside the 5, reaching for the end zone. Did he get there? Touchdown. Meanwhile, Burrow back to work on offense from his own 25. The pitch for Mixon. Mixon following, blocking. Has first down yardage, and here he goes down the sideline. Cut down by John Johnson.
By Joe Mixon on a crucial drive for Cincinnati.
Play fake, Burrow throws this side of the field. Catch is made by Jamar Chase, and Chase out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. 2nd and 9, quick pass on the outside, and Jamar Chase drilled by Denzel Ward. Burrow under pressure, got rid of it. Pirine, and Pirine is down at about the 12-yard line. Is perfect. So the Bengals put 3 more on the board and lead it just seconds into the 4th quarter by a score of 23-10. We go down to A.J. Ross. Watson under pressure, gets rid of it, and is complete to Donovan Peoples-Jones. There's a penalty marker down. Watson going to launch this one to the near sideline, and it's intercepted. Burrow going to throw. Sideline. Catch is made by Chase and run out of bounds. Let's go back to that pick by Jesse Bates.
And get his 3rd interception of the season. Big time play.
Burrow, that shoulder complete to Jamar Chase. Burrow throwing, and it is intercepted. Tipped at the line and picked off by Deion Jones. Loose ball covered by the Browns. Watson from the shotgun on 4th and 1. He's going to keep it and get the first down across the 40 to about the 41.
One more time, you've got to do it against Nick Chubb, who has had a good history of running pretty well against your defense.
On 2nd and 6, that looks like first down yardage. That once again is David Njoku in the 4th quarter. Watson throwing on the run, sideline. That pass is complete to Donovan Peoples-Jones, and he is finally pushed out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. Watson had it tipped. Incomplete. Watson on the move. Out of bounds right at that first down marker.
Boy, that's
right at that marker.
And Peoples-Jones is all the way to the bottom on the rookie Taylor Britt.
Lobbing it this side of the field. Peoples-Jones can't come down with it. And they're going to keep it on the ground with Travion Williams, and Williams brought down, and a timeout is called on the field. Cleveland 3 out of 5 on 4th down today. Watson throwing this side and can't make the catch. Zamari Cooper.
Again, that chemistry between Burrow and Jamar Chase truly is something special.
Meanwhile, Deshaun Watson improved over his week 1 return last week against Houston.